Hey, everybody. So while these energies are ramping up, getting intense, it's requiring many of us to get more rest. I know for me, this particular weekend, I have spent time just away from things and curling up with my heating pad, warm cup of tea, maybe some electrolyte water that I've made for myself, perhaps some tinctures, but just not a lot of food. Just not a lot of food. I'm not hungry. A lot of cold chills while the energy's shifting. And as I'm talking, I'm sort of cleaning up my messy desk here because I don't make notes before I do a video. So, with all this being said about the energies being ramped up, we also have what I want to call in-house fighting. For many of it's winter, and in winter we do stay indoors more, and we do more indoor activities such as toddling the social media, watching movies, being more sedentary. So in-house fighting has ramped up. And there's also in-house fighting going on in the spiritual communities. And, my philosophy has always been, if somebody has to talk about you in front of me, it doesn't make me listen to what's being talked about the other person. It makes me look at you a little differently. Like, what would motivate you to tell me things that weren't in the highest good or in the highest light of someone else? If you were to know something factually or your personal opinion about someone, you have to think twice before you express that. And the reason being, because it always comes back to the do no harm that I've been trained. And that is when someone says something negative about someone else, now that taints their view, robbing them of accessing their own discernment. So this in-house fighting is creating more distractions and separating ourselves from each other and our own opinions of ourselves towards each other, because what we see in one is a reflection of what we have in ourselves. So if we're working on something particularly within ourselves, we may find that those lessons pop up around us. So yesterday, I had an opportunity to come across a posting of someone I pay attention to, and someone who I consider high value in their messaging and their connections and what they teach, etc. But this particular post was about what someone else posted about them, and in their defense of or shock of, why would this person attack me? So what I hear, feel, and sense is that the person posting becomes more of a victim because they're feeling like they have to claw their way out of someone else's opinion cracks. The other thing that it creates is that anyone listening is going to have several different reactions or responses. One is to become in defense of the person being attacked, and the other would be to attack the attacker in order to defend the victim. And then it just becomes this big cat clawing fiasco that separates you from truly making your own opinions about yourself. Can you look at that and just say, that's a distraction for me? But while we're doing all of this energy changing and influx of things and looking at ourselves, and much of the hemisphere in the winter, and we're indoors more, we're exposing ourselves to behavior like this. So it's really lessons coming up to teach you to take a real good look at yourself and what your reactions and responses will be towards that. So when everyone's throwing shade, you get in there and start throwing shade, or you just observe the shade and perhaps send it with compassion, be neutral about it, and move to the other space away from it. That there's no need, you can take in the information as information, but there's no need to get in there and throw your claws at it. I did make a comment on one post, and it was more of a neutral one that didn't need to really throw that out there. And I thought about deleting it, but I didn't because it was very neutral. But I didn't even need to get involved with it. But I'm seeing this going on in what I want to call the spiritual community. I'm hearing people talk about, oh, you don't want to like be involved with so-and-so because they're like this, or, oh, I'm being attacked by this or I'm being attacked by that. And, we're done with that old paradigm. If you've got information, you're going to get attacked. We're done with a lot of that. Just speak what you've got to speak and do it from the heart in a place of just information. And don't worry about the hecklers. If we worried about the hecklers, no one would get on stage. No one. You've got to bypass the hecklers and continue to stay on your heart path and share information in the ways that you're being taught to share them through your higher self, your God source, the me, myself, and I of the universe. Connect with that breath and share it with a lot of love. And don't worry about the comments and the hecklers, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, approval, disapproval. It's irrelevant. I know for me, I make it irrelevant. It's not difficult for me. I've had many years of being on the other side of that I've gained experience, that I know that my feelings getting hurt or giving them permission to hurt my feelings by taking on what they have to say as truth it's only harmful and unhealthy for me. So if someone says, Sandy, you look really nice today. Thank you. Sandy, I'm not so sure I like that outfit and your hair. Okay. I'm not sure I really agree with you. Okay. Hey, I really agreed with you. Okay. It's like you have to learn to practice that. That's part of the spiritual athletic tools. But the number one sacred rule is do no harm. Do no harm. A lot of things that are being shared as information are not up for debate. They're not being put out there for someone to be debated. They're simply sharing the information from their guide team, from their higher self, in hopes to spark you and expand you and have you really begin to think for yourself without always having to express back. That's why a lot of people will take comments and turn them off. So they don't subject themselves to good, bad, or indifferent. I get it. I totally get it. Because it becomes a distraction to the messenger and a bigger distraction to the message. Because a lot of people get on here to social media and they want to read everybody's comments. Whenever I'm called to make a comment, I've never read anybody else's comment. And sometimes I've commented and later someone else may comment on that comment. And then in my scrolling, I may see that other people said something similar to mine, which just tells me we were on a common thread of information and messages. So strongly suggest that you take a step back. It's like learning how to really listen. Can you really listen to someone without in your mind trying to, okay, I'm going to say this, I'm going to respond that. They need to hear this. I'm going to tell them this because that's what they need to know. Can you really listen to something and give that person your attention without the motor running and this ready to, okay, hold on. As soon as they stop moving, I'm going to get down in there. Can we just come back to a space and just simply listen and not have a response and just let the information filter through us? But you've shown them respect by just listening, not coming back with your thoughts and how you would do it and what you think they should do and blah, 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 blah. Because you're taking away from someone's experience of learning how to express. If we knew that every time we expressed, someone was out there with daggers, no one would express. But we are at this point, at this juncture, in this metamorphosis, in this multidimensional metamorphosis, where many different types of humans are going to emerge from this and be evolved from all of this energy transitions that are going on. Pay attention to your personal transaction on how that's going, your cocoon. And learn how to just be okay with whether someone comments or doesn't comment, because it should have nothing to do, because you haven't given them permission slips to come back and invade your emotional, physical, mental, etheric, spiritual body with all of the opinions. Just let it be. So if you're going to put a message out, put the message out. And completely 1001% plus detach yourself from anything coming back from it. I encourage you to try this. And feel free to let me know how you do in the comments, or don't feel free to let me know how you do in the comments. It's up to you. It's a lesson and a play within the spiritual athletic tools that you're giving yourself the fuel and the nutrients from the God spark, not the egoic mental that we've been entrained and enslaved to live by. I hope that helps. If you'd like a session with me to learn some of these tools and get yourself talented like this, hey, embodimentofthesoul.com. Email me. So much love and light, because you are walking, living columns of light. Own it. Live it. Breathe it. Get it strong and stable. Stay away from the highway of opinions. Learn to discern through compassion in the heart center. All right?